So just a few days ago, the Cleveland Cavaliers made a couple of underrated moves. I know the Cavs have kind of been silent this offseason. There hasn't been a lot of talk, and they're pretty much running it back. But the addition of Thomas Bryant, in my eyes, is huge because the Cavs for the last 3 years have desperately needed a backup center. I was harping on this issue almost on a weekly basis, but finally, the Cavs make a big signing, and on top of that, they also bring in Killian Hayes, a guy who I don't really expect to do much, but still, he's an interesting addition behind Lonzo Ball, kind of to add a little bit more depth to the backcourt with Darius Garland starting out the year injured, as well as Max Strus. Both of the guys the Cavs brought in are basically on minimum deals, so these additions should really have no effect money-wise on what the Cavs can do this season and also in the future. Koby Altman has done a great job rebuilding this team over the last 5 years. I mean, really he's completed one of the fastest rebuilds I've ever seen, taking a team who lost LeBron in 2018 and was nothing to what they are now. I mean, it's been more than impressive, and he definitely deserves his flowers. But one thing I've been harping on for so long was the backup center position. Finally, he gets a deal done, brings in Thomas Bryant, a guy that I wanted the Cavs to snag before the postseason last year, but he ends up going to the Pacers. So, big addition. I want to talk all about it. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you all would do me a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. It only takes 5 seconds. Plus, you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers. And with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so 2 days ago, if you haven't been hiding under a rock in Cleveland, I know the Guardians have kind of took all the headlines, but the Cavs signed Thomas Bryant and Killian Hayes to join the team to fill some of the depth spots after we learned that Darius, Garland, and Max Strus are going to be out to injury at the beginning of this season. And I just think this is great for the long run because at the end of the day, the NBA season is 82 games. We're in this for the long haul. We already know Cleveland can be successful in the regular season. I think the only thing that people care about now is the postseason. And really, the Cavs have gotten exposed for only having 2 bigs in the playoffs because if Jarrett Allen plays soft, we can't bench him, we can't punish him because there's nobody else to put in place of him. If Evan Mobley's kind of getting pushed around, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. He's really been putting on muscle. He's really starting to develop and really starting to become that top 10 player in the league. I think he was ranked 13th, actually above Donovan Mitchell, which is very impressive. Congratulations to him. You could debate who's better. I don't think it matters. And I think there's no denying at this point that Evan Mobley is the most valuable player on this team. He's pretty much going to make or break how far this team can go. But nonetheless, I think Thomas Bryant really was kind of like that safety net type of signing. I love that the Cavs brought him on. He can shoot. I think he was 50% from three-point range in limited attempts last year, and he provided productive minutes when the Pacers made that NBA Finals run, especially after the Halliburton injury, because they needed guys to kind of fill up the court. And sorry guys, I apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit raspy. I've been screaming at the Guardians games the last 3 days. You probably can't even tell because of all the editing I'll do, but I apologize if you can. But anyways, getting back on track, the thing that's kind of funny to me is like when I saw we signed Thomas Bryant, it kind of felt like one of those Tristan Thompson signings, but a player who's a little bit better, more versatile. But then I look at his age and the dude's only 28 years old. For most NBA players, that's a guy who's at the back end of their prime. So this guy's still got a lot of juice left. I think he still has room to develop, honestly, and I think playing behind Mobley and Allen is going to give him a lot of room to grow. So it really is the perfect combination because he's young, but at the same time, he is a veteran because the Cavs do still overall have a pretty young team comparatively to the rest of the league. So he's got NBA experience, he's got physical tools, he's got a long wingspan, he's got vertical reach, he's got a lot of energy as a rebounder, he flies around the court, he's willing to make the hustle plays, dive all over the floor, he's willing to talk trash. I love this dude because I think the Cavs in the playoffs are definitely known for being soft, so we need those kind of bruisers, those guys who are going to get in people's face, those Lance Stevenson type of guys. I think Thomas Bryant definitely fits that mold. Now, there are some downsides to Thomas Bryant, obviously. There's a reason why he's not a starter. There's a reason why he's been moving around the league over the last few years. He's definitely not a defensive anchor, but I don't think that matters because that's not what he's being brought on this team to do. The Cavs have defense with Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. They're going to be fine either way with that. I think it's his experience with playoff teams, being that he was in the playoffs with the Nuggets and the Pacers. I think that's where he brings the most value. And also the fact that he can space the floor out, he can shoot, he can provide a different dynamic compared to the prior backup options like Dean Wade or Tristan Thompson. I know Dean Wade is still on the team, but asking Dean Wade to be a backup big, that was just not ideal. Offensively, Thomas Bryant fits as a rim runner. He's a pick and roll threat, and in short spurts, he's a capable pick and pop shooter. And as I mentioned, he adds vertical spacing. Really over the last few years, he's kind of that guy that I really think has been missing from the bench. Now moving on, let's talk a little bit about Killian Hayes. I'm not going to spend too much time breaking him down because at the end of the day, it is Killian Hayes. We kind of know the deal with him. It's not really too much of a noteworthy signing, but it is a player the Cavs added, so knowing me, we got to talk about it. So he's 24 years old, still has some potential to break out. I think this is kind of his last chance. It's one of those last chance contracts. He played last for the Brooklyn Nets and averaged 9 points with 5 assists and 3 rebounds while shooting 38% from 3 in 6 games. So I know that's a short sample size, but he definitely showed a little bit of spark in those games. And with Darius Garland, of course, recovering from that injury he suffered over the offseason, the dude is just made of glass, unfortunately. And also Max Strus's delayed return. I think Hayes provides necessary insurance as a playmaker and defender, possibly off the bench. And I don't think he's going to play a lot of minutes, but early on in the year, you could see him playing those like 8 to 12 minute games. You never know. Hayes is known for his pick and roll creation, elite vision, quick hands for steals. He's more of a defensive player over offense. And also, he has solid ability to guard multiple positions thanks to his 6'5" frame. And we know the Cavs have struggled with size in the front court, or the back court, I mean. So I think being 6'5", along with the Lonzo Ball addition, I think that's really going to help that problem. But with all those pros, offensive consistency has really been the downfall of Killian Hayes. Shooting has been his biggest struggle. His career three-point percentage is just 28.1%. And no, I'm not lying. Like, that's the actual number. It's just 28.1%. So that is just awful. And I think that's really going to keep him off the court because Cleveland likes to put up points with the best of them in the NBA. And I don't really think he fits the offensive mold. But I think his size and defensive capabilities could kind of give him that Isaac Okoro type of role. Obviously, Isaac is now a Chicago Bull thanks to the Lonzo Ball trade, so maybe that's kind of like that replacement, but I don't know. I mean, I think he's just a name that they added because of the injuries. I don't think he's going to get a big opportunity, but again, he's a guy the Cavs brought in, so I wanted to talk about it. Recently, Koby Altman and Kenny Atkinson both spoke to the media kind of about the offseason and also these additions. Here's what they had to say.
The Cavaliers, we're super excited about this summer and what we were able to accomplish this summer. Coach can talk a little bit about that. Obviously, we'll open up for questions, but we appreciate you spending some time a week before training camp with us. We started to do this recently where we split this up and then give you guys a chance to really focus on the players come a week from now and hear from get us out of the way and focus on the players in a week from now. But we appreciate you guys being here and covering us, and we'll open it up for questions. You're right, absolutely right. We hired Kenny when he was with Team France overseas, competing for an Olympic gold medal. Obviously, we're super happy with the hire. He's been tremendous all throughout the year, creating an identity for us, rooted in player development. Guys had some of the best years of their careers. Second best offense efficiency in the history of the NBA, and so helping us create that offensive identity was huge, but we really hired Kenny to do what you're talking about, right? To get roots and create this player development program for our players.
That's really all I got for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these two additions. Will they affect the Cavs at all in 2025? And also, how are you feeling about this team with the 2 injuries heading into the season? That's all I got. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you all later.